Hey there, Taurus, and welcome to your April 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for artists, entrepreneurs, and anybody who is working on their personal growth or their self-expression or spirituality in any way. So if those areas of life are intriguing to you, I encourage you to go ahead and keep listening. I also want to say really quickly, you can use these readings for your sun, moon, or your rising sign, and it's also normal if sometimes they don't resonate, especially if it's the beginning of the month when you're hearing this. But I encourage you to come back to the reading later on in the month, as you may find some surprising correlations with your life experience. Okay, Taurus, wow, this is a big month for you. You do have the sun moving into your sign on April 19th, so happy birthday, those of you Taurians out there who are looking forward to a birthday. This is going to be a really influential time for you, and the message that I was getting during the meditation, it's funny because it feels to me like there's something in your life that is actually going pretty well, or that appears that it's about to be going very well for you. And I feel like there's this little voice inside, you know, as I'm meditating and connecting to this energy and sort of empathizing with you, it's like there's this voice inside that's saying like, no, this can't just be what it is. Like, this can't just be what it seems like. There's like a sense of it needs to be there. You're like waiting for the other shoe to drop or something. You're waiting for the problem. You're waiting for this thing that is going to, you know, break up the peace or break up the harmony. And the message I really feel for you, Taurus, is that everything is actually good. Everything is actually okay. And I feel like there's this sense of you needing to almost release this like a negative expectation that came from being disappointed by things in the past. And there's this like really sweet, hopeful energy coming through that's like, yes, you can trust this, Taurus. You can put your faith in this. Something is working out in a very peaceful way for you, or something is working out in a way that maybe it's better than you expected. And the message is not to tie up your own energy in like disbelief of what's going on, because actually like these things that are happening for you are very much for your benefit. And I really feel like there's just this sense of like, it's okay. Like sometimes we really do get like the fairy tale ending or whatever. Like sometimes we really do get something that is genuinely peaceful and genuinely good. Like sometimes that is the way life is. Life is not always something to brace yourself for. And I don't know why this message is coming through so strong, because as a sign, just in general, you're not known for necessarily being like an anxious sign. You're not known for being like a worrying sign. But I feel like in this context, it's like trust the things that are unfolding in your life. Trust the things that are happening for you, that are opening up for you, because they are real and they are good. Like they are, it's a good thing. Everything is good. You don't have to be like so afraid of it. So I guess, you know, that's kind of an interesting message, but I really had to say it. I felt like this was coming through so strongly. So I really hope that that is helpful for someone out there, that like if life seems like it's actually moving in a direction that makes you feel just cosmically freaking blessed and just super excited to see what is to come, have that sense of trust in life and in yourself, okay? Let's take a look at your cards and we'll get some more information. So let's take a look here. I'm using the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. I feel like it's just a really beautiful deck, and I'll have all the links for the decks I'm using below. Taurus, 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 Taurus. And we're going to get you a Bob Ross message because his spirit is just so warming and loving, and I feel like this deck has a lot of gifts for us. Taurus. All right, so let's take a look at your path. We've got Cheetah, and the influence is the Crocodile. Wow, so like interesting energies. They're very kind of in contrast to each other. So the first thing that I get with this Taurus is that the Cheetah is a card that comes up as your path when life is about to pick up speed. Cheetahs are known for being the fastest mammal, and they are like relentless. They're super capable of fixing, you know, their eye on something that they want and really going after it. And they're very impressive animals. So one of the things that I get with this, and also just the illustration with the rings kind of spiraling outward around the cheetah, is I think that you are focusing yourself on something that you want to create in your life. And I feel like your energy or your kind of vibratory stance, your attitude, your thought process is really supportive to you making significant progress on that journey. But the interesting thing is that you have the Crocodile as the influence card. So, you know, of course, it would be really hard to do these readings in a vacuum, knowing what is going on in the world at this time, where many of us are staying home more, or we are engaging in some social distancing, we're not socializing as much. The Crocodile card really has that flavor, right? It has that flavor of isolation, of sitting back, of kind of resting, also being aware of like timing, you know, like the crocodile is a creature that really will pounce at the right moment. And similarly, the cheetah is too. Both of these are very predatory creatures. So we could say as well that just as far as your energy goes in April, Taurus, you're going to be a doer this month. You're going to be a doer, and that's what's going to bring in the benefit. That's what's going to bring in the rewards for your energies this month, is you're going to be productive in April, whether you are kind of quarantined or self-quarantined or staying at home, or, you know, just engaging in social distancing, or not able to, you know, go to work, so you're working from home. Whatever your situation is, I feel like you are still very much able to get things done. And I feel like with the Crocodile card, there is going to be a sense of rest as well. It's like a combination of taking a little bit more specific and intentional time for you, taking care of maybe some self-care things that you've been wanting to do for a while, embracing this as an opportunity for that. But also with the Cheetah card, you could be, I mean, if you're a Taurus that's been thinking about creating a website for something, like you could be, because you have more time, maybe you're not commuting as much, or you're not being as social, you have more time to really put into your creative projects. Or if you have a book in you that you're thinking about really sitting down and nailing down the words, getting them out of you, maybe this is, you know, the cheetah energy, and the crocodile is showing like this very creative, productive self for you, but it's like in the crocodile sphere. So it's like you're at home, but you feel like you're being very creative and very passionate and really kind of making progress on things that perhaps were more difficult to you when your routine is more normal, right? Like maybe you're just having more time to basically dedicate to those types of things. So I see you actually feeling really on fire with your creativity this month. I see you actually making a ton of progress. And at the same time, you know, maybe getting a little bit more time for yourself, meditating, doing some self-care rituals, doing some things that will be relaxing for you is also going to be, again, very energizing, and kind of helps rejuvenate you so that you can pour even more of yourself into this creativity that we see. So let's take a look at your cards and we'll get some more insight. We've got Knight of Wands, the Hermit, Seven of Cups, the Lovers, Knight of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. Interesting. Oh, wow. Okay, so a lot is coming forward here. So we see in the Knight of Wands we could say that the Knight of Wands is basically like the cheetah card in the regular tarot deck. I'm sure you can see sort of the similarity in these energies. So definitely April is a month where, regardless of whatever is going on out in the world and the sort of general state of confusion and uncertainty that many people kind of find themselves in right now, I see you, Taurus, actually really having a very clear sense of what you want, because you have the Hermit with the Knight of Wands. And again, the Hermit could also be echoing the crocodile energy. It's so spooky how the cards will do this, where we get these very much complementary reflections showing up in the tarot versus, the Animal Spirit Oracle cards. But in general, very, very similar. So the first week of April is going to be characterized by you taking action on some things that you are excited about and that you're passionate about, and that is really the best use of your energy. So I really encourage you to not hold back, and really, if you have a book that you want to write, or a website you want to create, or a painting you want to paint, it's like really put the time into that, because you have it with the Hermit. And I also feel with the Hermit and the Knight of Wands, the more subtle message here is like, no matter what kind of confusion is going on out in the world, you yourself are anchored to your own energy. You yourself are aligned within yourself. So you don't have to be swayed by the confusion outside of you or by the uncertainty outside of you. You're very much trusting of your path. I don't see you having fear in this reading. I see you actually being appreciative and taking advantage of this time and doing things in a way that you are in alignment with, like taking care of yourself, essentially. By the second week, and this is where we get some really interesting stuff coming through with the astrology, because we have the full moon in Libra on the 8th of April. And so with these cards showing up, Libra is not a sign that you have a traditional aspect to, but you have the same ruler, Venus. And so when there's a full moon in Libra, inherently, as Libra is the other Venus ruled sign, there's going to be a general feeling of commonality within you. This is technically, in symbolic terms, occurring in your 6th house, which is associated with, physical wellness, the body, also your daily routines, and it can also be your workflow, but it's more like your daily work, whereas the 10th house is more kind of your bigger, career ambitions. The 6th house is more kind of like the daily work, the grind, so to speak. So with a full moon in Libra in the 6th house, there's a sense of you really, like, potentially some of you, because it's a full moon, could be completing something when it comes to work or to your health. You could be summing up maybe a choice or a decision that week. In April or around April 8th, you could be like something that you've been kind of nebulously thinking, like, I would like to do this, I would like to maybe change my routine, I would like to do something different for my health, or I would like to maybe work and have a different type of lifestyle. There's like this kind of, with the 7 of Cups, this sort of nebulous, like, I know I want something different, but I don't exactly know what it is yet. Or how it will look, or how it will all cement together. But then we have the Lovers following that, which is a Geminian card. So it's like this dualistic energy that has a lot to do with clarity of choice and really making a judgment call. I think with the Lovers card, it comes down to the consequences of our choices, right? And how we are intentional creators of our own life. The Lovers card is sort of implicating this idea of the power to create, because we have a man and a woman, they're naked, and this concept of like on the hero's journey or on the major arcana path of growth that we all go through as individuals. When we reach sexual maturity, we become attracted, to people. We have like an experience of our own sexuality. That's really when we individuate from our parents. It's when we individuate from our, family of origin in a large sense. And it's when we begin to become, in the physical sense, potential of creating our own world for ourselves. So it's a very symbolic energy, but it has a lot to do with like reaching a point in your journey where, metaphorically speaking, you can now make decisions that will impact, the rest of your life. You can come to important conclusions that will change the direction that you are walking in. And I feel like there's this clarity happening where something maybe around that full moon in your 6th house is like showing you that another path is opening up. It's showing you that something new is possible. And I think that you're very authentic. Like these cards, the lovers, it's like a very authentic opening up of that path. It's a very authentic sense of you choosing that path, choosing something new. Now, it's very, very possible that the effects of whatever conclusions you're coming to or decisions you're making around that full moon in Libra will not be felt or experienced by you in your life until the new moon in your sign on the 22nd, actually, of April. So you have the sun moving into your sign on the 19th. By the 22nd, we're going to have a new moon conjunct Uranus in your sign. So that's going to be a big deal. The new moon in Taurus conjunct Uranus, that's your sign. Like it's all in your 1st house. Uranus there, new moon is a new beginning. And then you just had, this kind of ending or this culmination moon in your 6th house of work, or it could be health and routine. So basically what I'm seeing is by the end of April, you could be on a totally different path because Uranus conjunct your new moon is really like bringing unpredictability. And that may be why you're getting this message in the meditation about like recognizing that sometimes new things open up for us and they actually are meant to be as amazing as they seem. Like everything in life is going to have its own complications, right? Everything in life is going to challenge us to grow in some way, but that doesn't mean that everything in life we need to be bracing for a disappointment or that every opportunity that comes our way is not going to be right for us. I feel like you want to kind of balance your perspective a little bit, Taurus. If you are feeling kind of suspicious or skeptical, definitely it's always a good idea to do your homework and sort of research and get, very aware of the things that you're engaging in and what could go wrong or what could be a challenge. But I also think that like the overwhelming message here is that this is something that is for you, okay? And I feel like, by the 3rd week of April, you're really initiating it with the Knight of Swords and the 4 of Pentacles. But I think that you're a little bit hesitant. I think that there's part of you that is very intellectually aligned with whatever this new journey is that you're trying to take. But with the 4 of Pentacles, I think there's also like the inertia of the past and the inertia of your habits, the inertia of the patterns that you're used to and the patterns of thought that you're used to. So there's going to be kind of like potentially some conflict within you in that 3rd week of April where you feel that the winds are changing. You feel that a new way of life is coming into being with the Knight of Swords, and you are actually very much looking forward to it. But there is also, like, you're going to be dealing with some more stubborn aspects of yourself, so don't be surprised if, you feel conflicted. But I think that this is something that will resolve itself gradually if you just kind of stick with it and you are aware of what you really care about in the situation and what kind of lifestyle you're looking to create. Like, always keep that vision closest to you, keep yourself reminded on a daily basis of like what you're working towards, because I think that you're gonna have to almost kind of convince yourself to keep putting one foot in front of the other in that 3rd week. But I think ultimately it will be fruitful. Now you do have the 10 of Cups and the 7 of Swords. So this is at the very end of April. And on the one hand, I do feel that things are going very well for you, especially when it comes to your community or like your family life, the people that you have around you. Or it could just be that like an ideal situation is opening up for you in your life with the Ten of Cups. It's a very happy card. It's sort of like the wishes coming true card, but in more of a complete sense than we see in the Nine of Cups, for example. It's more like wishes coming true that affect not only you, but kind of like what you would say your family to be, or like what you would say your community to be, and really seeing things coming full circle. But with the Seven of Swords, and this is a really interesting card to have coming up here, because on the one hand, if we were going to read this a little bit more skeptically, we could say that maybe there's someone in your life who is not entirely trustworthy. We could say that, and that's more of a kind of mundane read on these cards. But I'm not feeling that as like the most likely energy for the majority of you listening to this. Honestly, I feel like the Seven of Swords is kind of a reminder that even when things are like expanding and evolving and going in a really beautiful direction, you also need to have regular alone time and not get too sucked up into the outer experience. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, that what's opening up for you is this idea of maybe you are getting a promotion, to a more of a management position, and this is something you've been waiting for a long time, or you're starting a business and immediately you're seeing, proof of your concept and people are engaging with it and you're getting customers or clients, and everything seems to be like getting off to a really great start. Whatever it is, it's like an improvement, and it's an improvement that you've been asking for. It's an improvement that puts you in a new role in the world. It's an improvement that affects more people than just you. But you also have to, with the Seven of Swords, like remember to like keep coming back to your unique perspective on things and not get too focused on like the outer like things that are happening, because I think that can be a trap that we can fall into when things start going really well on the outer level, is we start almost identifying with that, or we start kind of because we're in a new situation, we almost modulate our behavior so that we can like gain the benefits in the outer world, like validation from others, succeeding in completing projects on time, whatever. And if we don't kind of stay connected to what our inner voice is telling us, then we can kind of almost train ourselves away from that inner voice, or train ourselves away from that intuition. So just be aware of that. And I feel like this is really about recognizing that like it was your genius, your inner kind of genius, that brought you to where you are now. With this Seven of Swords, this is a card of cleverness. So don't forget that. Don't start training yourself into a receptive like energy of always kind of being in reaction to the world. Keep yourself as the generator of the direction that you're going. Like keep yourself as the action maker, right? Like that's kind of what I'm seeing. It needs to be action, not reaction. So that's one thing. I love this Bob Ross card, and it really matches with the energy you guys have had so far in this reading. Isn't that fantastic? I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it, Taurus. I knew you could. This is perfect. It's so beautiful. It really matches up with the meditation message, with your tarot cards. Something really good is coming together, and it's your job to release any anxiety that you have about that, and that sense of pervasive doubt that you're like, waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for some kind of issue. That's not what this is about, Taurus. This is about you getting into your groove. This is about you assuming a position of empowerment in your own life and staying connected to your intuition and your inner voice in that process. But you are definitely up leveling. You're going into this new like life stage, and I feel like it's okay for it to be good. It's okay for it to be exciting. Like, Take a deep breath and let it out. Don't hold your breath because this is good. This is where it's supposed to go. All right, Taurus, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here on my channel. If you got something useful from this reading, please let me know in the comments. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys, and just any comment at all, even just a little emoji, a little purple heart maybe if you have emojis, letting me know that you're still with me. All of that is super helpful to my channel. It helps me to know that you're participating and that you're in this with me, and it also helps to boost this video in YouTube's algorithm. So if you want to say thank you, if you got something useful, leave me a little comment, leave me an emoji, let me know you're here, and give this video a thumbs up, maybe share it with a friend. All those things are amazing. You can also choose to donate to support my channel. I'll put a link below. All of the links to the decks I'm using will be below as well. I'm sending you guys so much love. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and an amazing month in April. Happy birthday, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.